And what I've learned in 35 years of teaching improvisation to students of all levels is that it's not just about learning scales, right? You also have to understand accompaniment. You also have to understand rhythm, but it's also how is this all put together? And I put it together in a very special way in the Confident Improviser, where you get to practice along with me. You know exactly what you got to work on. You have exercises, you have variations. There's also an inspiration area, which is great for more advanced level players. So if you're a beginner, maybe you're a classical player, you've never improvised before, or you just want to learn how to improvise jazz or blues or rock, pop, it's all in the Confident Improviser. Right now I'm doing a special. You can get the first exercise of the Confident Improviser for only $7. It's lifetime access. You own it, you keep it, and you can watch it forever and ever. It's a super great deal. Take a look at the description, and then take a look at the rest of the samples from the exercise 1 in the Confident Improviser right after this video.
Each of the exercises is broken up into 4 parts. The first is accompaniment. The next is the ingredients or the scale. After that, we work on rhythm. And then finally, we do an exercise and then variations. All right, let's get started. So, the accompaniment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the accompaniment 4 times for you. All right, here we go. And as we go, especially if something like this is pretty simple, I might kind of talk over this. You see your fingering is written in there, 5, 3, 2, 1. The main thing is make sure that you play this nice and steady, all right? 2 beats a piece. Do, ooh, do, ooh, do, ooh. Okay, you can also count this as 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to make sure that you don't do this. Don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. A lot of times students will do that. What they'll do is they will come in and they will rush this beat right here. All right, so make sure that you don't do that. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to play it together 8 times. All right, here we go. Play it with me. So now what we're going to do is I want you to play the left hand, okay, and I'm going to play some chords in the right hand. I'm just going to play my simple C minor to F minor to a G7 in the right hand. You do not have to worry about playing these chords. I'm just playing them to accompany you, all right? The main focus for you right now is to focus on keeping that left hand accompaniment nice and steady, right? Now, of course, remember, since we're up to this part in the exercise, if the accompaniment is moving too fast for you, you might need to pause the video and practice that a little bit slower, but I think around this tempo is not too bad for most students. Okay, so here we go. You're going to play the left hand bass line. I'm going to be playing the chords, right? So you're going to be playing this down here, right? I'm not going to play this. You're going to play this, and I'm going to play the chords in the right hand. Here we go. Ready? Go. Third time. Let's move on, and we are going to move on to rhythm. Now, the very first thing I have to let you know that's very important is you'll notice that the rhythm is written on the note B. It is only written there to make it in the middle of the staff and make it a little bit easier so it's not high or low in the staff. It is not to be played on B all the time. You don't always have to play it on B. I mean, for our purposes right now, we'll start on the note B, but we could change that note that we use, all right? So the idea is do not think that you have to be playing this rhythm always on the note B. The note B here is just for exercise purposes only, okay? So I could have easily just chosen C or G or whatever, but since B is in the middle of the staff, that's why we did B. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to be vocalizing this rhythm. Now, if you need help with vocalization, take a look at the Rhythm Essentials course. All right, so here we go. In fact, what I'm going to do is before I even play it, I like to vocalize it first. So da, dee, ba, great big whole note. Now, this great big whole note, it's a little silly. I used to use that a lot when I was teaching younger kids. So if you don't want to say great big whole note, just count out 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fine as well. So you could say da, dee, ba, 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, dee, ba, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I'm going to play the rhythm, and then you're going to play it after me. Okay, so what I would do is, for right now, this first time, I'll play the left hand. That's going to be me, and I'll just mimic that this is going to be you up here. All right, so follow along. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I start. 1, 2, ready, go. Da, dee, ba, dee, ba, dee, ba. 1, 2, now you. Da, dee, ba, dee, ba, dee, ba. 1, 2, 3, then me. Da. Okay, so that's call and response. I play it, then you play it. I play it, then you play it. All right, so let's try that. We're going to do that 8 times. I'm going to play it, and then you're going to play it. Again, you could play the note B, or you could choose any other note that you want. Probably not choosing something like C. It might sound a little dissonant. All right, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Da, dee, ba, dee, ba, dee, ba, great, big, now you. Da, dee, ba, dee, ba, dee, ba, great, big, whole, no. Now, to make, all right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do a call and response. I will do the left hand accompaniment right now, but then what's going to happen is I'm going to play the lick, all right, and then you're going to play the lick. So just listen for me, and I'll tell you when to come in. Here we go. I start. Now you play. Da, dee, ba, dee, ba, dee, ba, 1, 2. Me. You. Me. You. Me. Now you. Great job. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to play it together. And let's play it together 8 times. All right, here we go. 2, ready, go. All right, so now let's move on to the variation. Now remember, a variation is just a little bit of a change. We're not coming up with something brand spanking new. We're just taking these notes and we're going to rearrange them. This is a very important improvisation skill because rather than always coming up with something new, you can kind of just change what you already have and then create new motifs, new licks, new improvisational ideas based on what you already have, okay? So it's a very good way of creating some consistency in your improvisation by learning those different variations. Okay, so the first variations, notice now instead of starting down here on C, we're going to start up here on G, and this is the lick. Now it's very important to notice that the rhythm is exactly the same. The order of the notes is different. Rhythm is the same, order of the notes is different. All right, so now let's go through and we'll do exactly the same thing. I'm going to play it 2 times for you. Inspiration lessons are for students who are looking to challenge themselves, all right? So those students that really want to challenge themselves and get the most out of it and really kind of squeeze out all of the juice, that's what this inspiration lesson is for. It is not a requirement, okay? So you are not going to miss out on anything if you do not do this inspiration lesson, okay? That's a very, very important point, especially for those of you that are just getting started with improvisation. If you've never improvised before, you might find that the exercise is plenty. If that's the case, please know you are absolutely fine just to do the exercise. You do not have to do this inspiration lesson. And also, since it's recorded, you could always come back later and do this at a later time. Also change it around so that some of the notes are quarter notes. The ones that I really like to play as quarter notes that I think work really well is play the F and the G as quarter notes. So do something like this. So, quarter note, quarter note. You can also try just the F. All right, so. Now this is another nice trick as well, right? An 8th rest and then an 8th note. So you start on the upbeat. So then you get ba dee ba dee ba dee ba great big hold on, or 1 2 3 4. So then you get ba dee ba dee ba dee ba 1 2 3 4. Ba dee ba dee ba dee ba 1 2 3 4. So all I did was I changed this one rhythm, this one beat actually, right here, from a quarter note into an eighth rest and then an eighth note. Now, is that the only thing you could do? Of course not. You know, maybe we take these two eighth notes right here and we change it into a triplet. So then it's da, triplet, D, ba, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's another idea. Another idea for you is that you could change this measure right here rather than playing it as a whole note. Just repeat that rhythm. Da, D, ba, D, ba, D, ba, da, D, ba, D, ba, D, ba, da, D, ba, D, ba, D, ba, da, D, ba, D, ba, D. You know, you could just keep playing that rhythm over and over again. And of course, there's all different variations that you can add in there. For instance, the first one I said, the eighth rest to the eighth note, ba, D, ba, D, ba, D, ba, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, do that and then go into this rhythm as is. So it'd be ba, D, ba, D, ba, D, ba, da, D, ba, D, ba, D, ba, ba, D, ba, D, ba, D, ba, da, D, ba, D, ba, D, ba, right? So there's all different variations that you can do, and sky's the limit, and you can have fun with it. My suggestion, though, is make sure that you're not changing too much. Start by changing just a little bit at the beginning. But I can also mix chords and licks together. So let's just go back to C minor, stay in C minor. We're not going to move into any other key. And then what I'm going to do is, let's put the drums on here. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to start with the bass line, I'm going to do the lick, but then I'm going to start to integrate some chords and integrate some comping as well. Or I could do this variation right here. Right, now let's bring in some comping. So I think that you can already see how, even though we're at exercise number 1, and exercise number 1 is very simple, you can branch out from that exercise number 1 and really start to add in some more advanced techniques and concepts, right? So this is the inspiration lesson. You do not have to do all of this. Pick and choose whatever you like. It's just to kind of give you some other ideas to play around with. Remember, you